now let's talk about a little thing called Linsanity.
Well, Jeremy Lin, second-round pick out of Harvard, decided to just take the nation by storm and go off on national TV against the Lakers, scoring 38 points out of 92 to beat the Lakers 92 to 85. Me being a Laker fan, it was a tough thing to watch him outscoring Kobe. But I mean, it's one of those things where you just, you have to give him props, and whatever, he goes from sleeping on somebody's couch, his teammate Landry Field's couch, to actually lighting up one of the best teams in the league
in New York, in the biggest sports market in the world. That's definitely something. And then you kind of got to be thinking, how are the Warriors feeling about their decision to get rid of him? But that was definitely a big game for him, and really disappointed me because that handed the Lakers a loss. One of the only times I've ever picked them to win anything. But other than that, this dude's going Linsane. He's like the Tebow of basketball right now with all this stuff coming up, and which means by the end of the season I'm going to hate this kid because I'm tired of hearing about him already.
I mean, but he has been playing amazing.
Yeah, he has been playing.
I mean, just like, he's averaging 28 points in like 4 official starts, I mean, it's unbelievable.
The best 5-game start of anybody, points and numbers-wise, in the NBA ever, which is insane. He
reminds me a lot of a young Steve Nash. He's, and it's good because Mike D'Antoni knows exactly how to handle those type of players. He's a great passer. I mean, he has a terrific jump shot. I was amazed by his jump shot. So, I mean, just to see him, kind of like come out of nowhere, and someone who, no one gave him a chance. He was cut by 2 other teams this season and was close to being cut by the Knicks, which is, it's amazing. It really
it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they continue when Carmelo's healthy and stuff. But let's talk about the other sport going on right now that's played on ice. The Sharks had a rough weekend. They went 1 for 2 over the weekend, losing to the Flames 4-3. And they lost to the Blues 3-0 the other night, which was bad. They couldn't kill penalties, but they ended up beating the Blackhawks, which is something they've had issues with over the last couple of years since the Sharks tried to make that Stanley Cup push. They beat the Blackhawks 5-3. So something I'm excited about, because as all you people know that continuously watch, I'm a big baseball fan, and baseball is starting up here pretty soon. We got spring training coming up. Giants and A's pitchers and catchers report on the 18th, which is Saturday, and practices start on the 19th, which is Sunday. So speaking of the A's have been in the news with their big signing.
The biggest signing they've had in 10 years, really. I mean, signing Yoenis Cespedes to a 4-year, $36 million deal. I'm not really sure. He had 33 home runs and 99 RBIs in his Dominican league last year. His Cuban league. It's kind of difficult to see the transition because he is 26 years old. He's not, very, you see him and you're just like, well, is he major league ready? And everyone says he is. It's just he's 26, so I mean, he should be major league ready.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't actually know really anything about this guy until the news broke on Monday night. But I mean, really, can it hurt the A's at all? I don't think so, because the A's, they tend not to. They just rip their team apart all the time.
And so, it's amazing that, they do that every year, and yet Billy Beane just keeps getting these extensions. I mean, he just got signed to an extension to 2019.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. I mean, I think maybe Moneyball
it's
got to be.
It's definitely the Moneyball theory, but like sports right now, sports is you must win now. And right now that's not what they're doing, which leads me to the Giants, who won the World Series in 2010, and the A's. Like, what are the biggest concerns going into 2012? For me, as a Giants fan, my biggest concern is offense. It's the last couple of years, it's always been offense, and the Giants really struggled last year. Once Buster Posey went down, it was just a domino effect, and every offensive leader they had Posey went down, Sanchez went down, Aubrey Huff didn't show up for 2011. Andres Torres had another off year. Cody Ross wasn't the guy that they thought. Pat Burrell wasn't hitting. It was a tough year. Miguel Tejada, the worst signing they've had since Barry Zito. But it's offense. If Buster Posey could come out hitting like it was in 2010, and if their free agent signings of Melky Cabrera and Angel Pagan, if that could help, That'd be great.
I mean, it's also, you know, you got to worry about Posey's ankle, you know, because, you know, he is playing catcher. It is like the toughest position to really play. He's going to be on that ankle all the time.
Yeah.
You have to really worry about that.
Yeah, they said they were going to have him play first a lot this season, which also brings up questions about Brandon Bell, Brett Pill, and Aubrey Huff. Because we don't want Aubrey Huff in the outfield. He lost a good 5 games for the Giants last year.
I don't think
we don't want him out there. But now, what are some of your concerns as an A's fan? I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of them.
You know, honestly, it's trying to keep some sort of team together. I mean, the last 5 years they've had a good all-star or something and they trade him or they get rid of him. It's really weird to see like just a team that you would think could be competitive and all of a sudden they just, you know, rip the team apart. I mean, they won close to 80 games last year, and they didn't really have anybody. Yeah. And they had to rely on their pitching. And then what happens this year? They give away Gio Gonzalez and their other pitcher. Like it's like a domino effect. They just keep doing it. It's like, you know, you just hope that something happens to where they can actually, maybe this guy Cespedes can actually, you know,
let's hope he
bring some offense to him. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Giants fan, but I'm a Giants fan that doesn't hate the A's. I feel like a lot of A's fans hate the Giants, but I don't dislike the A's. I got an A's shirt. I've been to A's games. I'm an all-around fan, but they definitely need to do something because this Moneyball theory might not be working. Yeah, they have guys, they build them up, and then they get rid of them for 3 other guys who think that you might be able to put in, and it's definitely not working for them at this point. But let's switch gears and go into our What to Watch For segment of the show. In the NBA, we got the Kings playing on Wednesday night, which is tomorrow night, against the Knicks. So let's see how Jeremy Lin does against the Kings, which I didn't have to have. The Niners didn't play Tebow, so I didn't have to worry about that. But if Lin goes off on the Kings, I'm going to be upset. I mean, and it's possible because the Kings do not have a very solid defense. But then you got the Warriors right in Oakland. The Golden State Warriors play the Blazers on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And then on Friday night, they play Oklahoma City again, and they just had a great game last week, so we'll see how that goes. Monte put up 48 points that game. So we'll see, and we're going to be talking about Monte here in a second, actually. But it's definitely
something to watch for.
Weekend to watch for in local basketball this year.
As well, we also got the Lakers playing the Phoenix Suns twice this week, Friday at 7:30 and Sunday at 5. So, I mean, the Suns are always one of them run and gun teams, and the Lakers have been trying to play this lockdown D, which is, I mean, they're not giving up a ton of points, but they're not scoring a ton of points.
Yeah,
so it's going to be interesting 2 games to watch against the Suns. Yeah,
they've been struggling definitely on the road this season, which is something you're not used to. You're just not used to the Lakers struggling. I don't mind being a Kings fan, but this guy, you should see him on some games. But
I bleed purple and yellow. That's it.
And blue and yellow.
Yeah.
And whatever you like for college, Michigan.
Florida,
sometimes.
Michigan,
sometimes.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Either one. I mean,
whatever. But now let's switch into the NFL. I know we're in the off season, but there's still news coming out. Since our last show, Stanford route ran his route out of Oakland.
Yes.
How do you explain the Raiders getting rid of Stanford route after he signed a $54 million contract a year earlier? He signed awesome amount of money, and now he's gone.
He did, and it was probably the worst signing the Raiders have done, like, as of late, besides Jamarcus Russell, obviously. A quick fact, he had more penalties this season than the entire Green Bay Packers defense. Hey. So to me, that is probably the main reason why he got ran out of Oakland. Which, I mean, he'll find another job. It's just, you can't have more penalties than a defense.
Hey, I guess if you're going to have a shutdown corner, might as well have a shutdown corner who nothing gets past him because he's always having pass interference penalties. I mean,
it's very true.
He was a part of a record-setting team. Oakland, most penalized team in the history of the NFL last season.
They have 4 of the 6.
Yeah, it was bad.